Welcome to Loudmouth News, coming at you from Seattle. Let's talk about it.
So what's happening? How you doing, huh? Good seeing you. It's been a while.
The 77-year-old man from Colorado was sentenced to 10 years for growing weed.
Gasp. You're kidding me. It's legal in Colorado.
Well, it is legal, but back in 2012, I think the guy had 1,700 plants on his rural property. He was busted after undercover officers investigating a separate crime came across a small skunky smell. Well, 1,700 plants. I assume he's got a large skunky smell.
I can smell you.
And what seemed to be out-of-place security cameras, which led to a search warrant being issued. This is all boring. Bottom line, the guy got busted for 1,700 plants back in 2012.
Yeah, I'm still stuck on the fact that he was busted in a state where this marijuana thing is legal. You know, he was sentenced to 10 years for growing weed?
You in here for some marijuana?
He was sentenced to 10 years because at the time that he committed the crime, or that he was busted for the crime, it was not legal, and that is the statute of which he has to be judged
So
by.
let's do the legalese thing here. Let's. You got a lot of legal friends, so what are the legal ramifications of this
most
right
of them
here?
are like defense lawyers.
You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
That's beside the point right now. What are the legal ramifications of this? And another thing, why do they mention his age, 77 years old?
Well, I think it only matters.
Is that going to
from
help his case?
It doesn't make any difference from the letter of the law. It does tend to make a difference when you look at somebody in the later part of their years. I mean, he's going to spend 10 years in prison. He's going to be 87 when he gets out. I mean, there's a higher likelihood he's going to die in prison.
Wow.
It's a fairly light crime, or it would be more of a non-compliance issue with today's laws than an actual outright crime.
Well, I wouldn't want you to be the judge because it sounds like you're going to send this guy to prison.
I am the law.
Can they review this now that it is legal?
The judge, Douglas Harpel, said he had a really tough time handing down the sentence to White. He searched for ways to lessen the sentence at the bare minimum of 10 years, but he couldn't find one. So it's not a sentence he felt particularly good about, but following the letter of the law, this was the best he could do for him.
And I guess your best wasn't good enough.
Wow, so he's going to prison. So I guess he'll get out early for good behavior?
You know, there may be mitigating circumstances to that, depending on what he does in jail. But, you know, he starts beating people up and...
Would you like some Merlot? I make it in the toilet.
So what can you do to the sentence itself? Even though he's sentenced to 10 years in prison, is there something the legal system can do to help this guy? Like, okay, we're going to amend the 10-year sentence and we're going to let you go.
It's not likely. There's the leniency of parole. We don't want people locked up that we don't want locked up. And if they're being, good, you tend to let them out earlier. But I think that's about the only thing that
That makes a lot of sense. It really does make a lot of sense. Gee, he's going to prison.
Yes, he is.
But it's legal. So I'm having a problem with the point that they're trying to make in a state where marijuana is legal.
Well, he may be the last guy to go to prison there.
You feel you've been rehabilitated?
Oh, yes, sir. Without a doubt. No danger to society here.
Yeah, but let's talk about a first. First, there's a lab in Las Vegas that has become known as first for something I don't think I'd really want to be known first.
You don't
for.
you don't want to have that dubious distinction of being the first, especially when it's not so good, because you got that look on your face like, well, this is not too good to be first at. So what is it?
They were the first lab to be suspended in the state of ever.
Wow.
G3 Labs out of Las Vegas. They were the first people to actually be suspended. Just 2 months. Just 2 months.
What?
2 months into their business.
2 months after the adult use cannabis sales began.
And they're suspending this laboratory for what reason? A lot of reasons?
Well, inaccurate data. Essentially, they were inflating the THC numbers. Whether that was intentional or not is kind of irrelevant to the suspension.
You just have no long-term memory because you get high all the time.
Tests were run independently, and they didn't match up with a test that they were getting. So either they were incapable of being accurate, or they were out, inflating them or putting them down. It doesn't even say whether it's up or down. It just says they weren't accurate.
So what are the investigators looking for specifically when they walk into a laboratory?
So where's the weed? Where the weed at?
What weed?
Well, labs screen for anything from toxic metals, fungi, pesticides, as well as, the potency of each product. And in Nevada, labs test for different things in different cannabis products. So
Well, that's kind of good news, bad news, because they're being shut down, but I'm thinking they're taking their restaurant logic here.
Well,
Like,
they're
hey,
just
you know,
suspended. They're not
suspended, right?
Yeah, they're not actually
just
shut
get your
down.
act together and you can continue to do business.
Yeah.
This is all on Loudmouth News, by the way. This is all today's news. It doesn't get any newer than this unless
It's right
tomorrow.
here. It's right here. Now, we're going, I guess we went from last to first. We can go back to last now. Dianne Feinstein is evidently California's last prohibitionist.
Oh, good for you.
You're kidding me. I haven't heard that word since I watched a black and white movie. Prohibitionist? Really? Are we talking about that? Is that actually on the website?
Yep, Dianne, right here in Loudmouth. Dianne Feinstein emerged from a traumatic era in San Francisco, one of the most renowned medical cannabis researchers. And yeah, she was a fairly significant figure who rose up to face challenges of the AIDS epidemic in the 80s and 90s.
So this Feinstein lady, I mean, what's the significance of her and the last prohibitionist? Because my question is now, when did they abolish prohibition? When did that happen?
And all this talk of bootlegging. What is bootlegging? On the boat, it's bootlegging. On Lakeshore Drive, it's hospitality.
You mean like alcohol prohibition?
Yeah, the prohibition on alcohol, right? Let me be clear. Yeah, when they ended prohibition on alcohol.
December 5th, 1933. Best day of my life.
Wow. Okay. Hey, what makes her the last prohibitionist in the state of California?
Well, she's not the only one of us alive, so.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Well, if you take
no,
good
I
care
remember
of yourself.
that. I was like in my early 30s, I think, and
in the 1930s.
33, December 5th.
People even talked different back in the 1930s.
Yeah, got it wrong on a test.
Jackie, turn that radio back before I slug you one.
One of these days. Ow, right in the kiss.
They don't use jargon like slug anymore, right?
Check this out on Loudmouth. A weed drive-through could be coming to a corner near you.
Near me? I live in a pretty good neighborhood. I'm not sure about that. Could you repeat that again? Well, I thought you just said.
Yeah,
people are going to be able to drive up to a window and buy cannabis and drive away.
Would you like fries with that?
Maybe. I mean, last November, voters in Maine gave the okay for weed to be legalized in their state, although it was a narrow victory. But now drive-through sales are being proposed, and it's not done yet, but it looks like it's going to move forward.
Well, you can drive to a drugstore, drive-through, and pick up prescription drugs.
Absolutely.
Can you do that with alcohol? Can you drive through is that somewhere in the 48 contiguous states that you can drive up to an alcohol place?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I know you can do it in Florida. I know that you can do it in New Orleans. In fact, in New Orleans, they'll make you like a daiquiri and hand it to you in your car.
No, back up. Are you kidding me?
No, not kidding you.
Yeah, I want like a double cheeseburger and a daiquiri.
Absolutely.
No.
Without question.
Kidding me. What state was that? Kentucky?
Oh, that's bourbon. Well, no, I'm just saying what you can get.
Can I get a Dakota daiquiri?
In Wyoming.
Well, that's wrong.
Oh, no. Check. No, this did not happen. This poor girl. Kirsten Dunst. You know who she is, right?
No, I don't know who she is. Wait a minute. She actually smoked a blunt on the set of her new movie?
Well, they had locals roll the joints.
Yeah, I mean, her career includes Interview with a Vampire, Bring It On. I liked the Bring It On series.
You know what? That's why she looks familiar. Hey, put that picture up.
And the Fargo TV series.
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
I mean, she
smoking a blunt.
Smoking a blunt, I guess.
So what happened to her? What happened?
And we're talking about Humboldt weed, okay? This is like strong.
What's so special about Humboldt County cannabis? We can't get enough. That's where that magazine, that Emerald magazine
is from Humboldt County. They're famous for two things, that magazine and cheese.
World famous.
According to Marijuana Business Daily's latest report titled Marijuana Business Factbook 2017, U.S. legal pot sales are expected to grow by approximately 30% in 2017 and by an estimated 300% between 2016 and 2021.
Oh, gnarly.
Well, according to that story, that's around $17 billion. That is a lot of money.
Oh, and investors clearly want in on this growth. So according to this article, there's two figures that all marijuana investors should know.
Two. Number one is
Working capital and current assets and cash flow.
Cash flow.
Yeah.
$17 billion.
Or hash flow.
You know, we're having so much fun right now scrolling through the news stories that you yourself can do on loudmouthnews.com.
Yes. Oh, it's right here on Loudmouth.
Absolutely.
Loudmouthnews.com.
Let's talk about it.
This has been a Loudmouth News Break. If you want to hear everything going on in the cannabis industry, then turn into loudmouthnews.com. Let's talk about it.